Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear traders around the globe. We from Admiral Markets say hello and welcome to our real-time daily trading idea webinar. So in these webinars, we have 5 days, so on 5 traders. And yeah, these 5 traders have 5 different trading styles for sure. So, and each day we have another trader here. So on this webinar, we would also screen the markets, discussing the topics of today, and for sure answering here your questions. But first of all, here is our risk disclaimer. Be aware that Forex and CFDs are leveraged products and can result in losses that exceed your deposit. So they may not be subtitled for everyone, and please be aware that all we are showing and presenting here today is just a personal opinion of our traders and not an advice for investing. Here you have a picture from me. My name is Tim Temp and I'm a sales guy from Germany. So, and we do this webinar always in co-moderation. So as I said at the beginning, each day another trader. So today we have the pleasure here with Paul, and later more about Paul and his trading ideas. So here are some news. So maybe you heard about that. We have an important facts here about the ESMA, important changes of Forex and CFD trading. So the leverage will be reduced if you are a retail client until the end of the month. So, and here you have some options. Maybe here, for example, you are able to become a professional client. So what is needed and more important facts about that you will find on our website. So here another additional a quick overview of some of our offerings. For example, here our bestseller, the DAX 30. We offer it at the moment because the DAX has birthday 30 years, so we offer it with only 0.5 points during the main trading hours and not 0.8 points like normal. So until the end of this month, we offer it, as I said, for only 0.5 points during the main trading hours. On the right side, you can see some of our awards for our customer service. So if you have additional question or anything, feel free to contact us. Here you can see our telephone number and as well our email. And yeah, these webinars are recorded, so later you can find it on our YouTube channel. So here's a picture from Paul. Good morning to you, Paul. You have the screen and you can start.
Good morning, Tim. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the introduction, Tim. It's what, Tuesday, 10th of July, and hello to everybody. I hope that you can all hear my voice. Hope you can all see my screen now. So of course, today after yesterday's shenanigans within the British Parliament, then invariably we need to have a focus on sterling, okay, and on FTSE. And have no fear, we're definitely going to look at that. We're definitely going to come to that. I just wanted to start with a quick trade update from one of the trades from just a couple of weeks back, where a bit of a, very often we'll do short-term trades, but I also do, some longer-term swing trades that I offer up, and also just sometimes tell people to sort of keep an eye on things that are setting up. And one of the trades we had running for a while here was on euro dollar, and I just wanted to sort of provide a little bit of an update for it if we bring it in. I mean, euro dollar daily, what we had was, nice triple bottom occurred, and we actually had, sort of trades down here, okay, beneath the, if I just zoom out here, beneath the around about 115.90 to 115.50, we had a series of trades, and actually, we had there using the wonderful mini terminal here on the Admiral Supreme Edition MetaTrader 4, and what we had was a trade in there with long 15 long. Around about 1590, 1600 with stops about 114.90, and we had a target there up around about 119, and what I said was that one of our first sort of kind of inflection points or decision points is when price gets towards that the daily 50 period moving average, and and what we can see there is that price is actually it's of course we're still forming today, but invariably we had a sort of a rather it's a kind of a bearish pin bar rejection candle forming at that kind of level of resistance and where the daily is there. So what I'd like to see is I'd actually like to see price maybe just drift down a little bit before sort of moving further up. That's what I'd kind of like to see there, but what what I want to see and what the market does are very often two different things, and so we have to prepare accordingly. So for those of you in that trade, the stops, as I said, was down about 114.90, and now stops on that trade are up around about 116.60. So so yeah, it's it's sort of locked in about probably about 65 to 70 points of pips of profit. But more importantly, what it is that I'm just actually, the stop is now just underneath this kind of the 4-hourly 200 period moving average, which has acted as pretty good support and resistance just beneath that sort of 116.60 level. So there's we've got a little bit of support in front of us, but so if price does come back and play up, then we're still in the trade. But if the sort of the mood and the sentiment has changed and we get a stronger move down, well then we'll be out of the trade for with some profit on board. So so there you go. Just keep an eye on that over the next day or two. I always get people wanting to have DAX, so let's do a little quick bit on the DAX, and then we can look at sterling in the UK. Okay, so here we go. Let's get down to the daily chart here. Okay, daily chart. I'm interested here, that we've hit the daily 20, and we're forming a little bit of a rejection candle there at the moment. Okay, on the 4-hourly chart, we can see that there. Okay, and we sort of pushed to highs there. Okay, for the week, but we've come off that there this morning, and there was early doors with some opportunity, but in particular, I'm looking at the 30-minute chart here. Okay, we can see that kind of 50 period moving average there has acted as a level of has acted as a bit of a level of support, and what I'm actually looking to see is whether we get a kind of a pop and drop. So what I'm looking to see there is will price kind of move up towards that sort of area of the 20 period moving average, which could act as a dynamic resistance, a sort of kind of put a cap on the move up before we move down. So what I'm going to be looking to do using the mini terminal here is looking for kind of shorts sort of around about this kind of around about that sort of 12,580 level. Okay, my stop would be above sort of there's a little bit of those highs of the day around about 12,605. So I'm going to be risking sort of 25 ticks there. Okay, and then my stop actually my target would be actually down here towards this kind of 12,460 level. Okay, that's what I'm going to target, that sort of 30-minute 200 period moving average. So suddenly excuse me, suddenly we're risking sort of 25, 30 ticks for for a potential 120 to 130 ticks for a profit. So that's sort of that's a nice trade for me. Okay, so I'm happy to sort of have that position on as a trade. So something for us to watch and see how it develops during the day. So after that's update done, let's have a look at the let's have a look at what we need to be looking at, which is frankly it's the UK, in particular British pound and British pound and FTSE today. So for those of you who are joining us from all over the world, we had some political shenanigans in the UK yesterday after Theresa May had a meeting of all her cabinet on Friday to agree the well, let's say to agree this week's Brexit plan. Invariably, what was deemed to have been agreed on Friday suddenly started to fall apart quite rapidly on Sunday evening and yesterday. We had David Davis and Steve Baker, who were the Brexit secretary and also involved in the Department for exiting the EU. They both resigned, saying the plan was not what they had signed up for, and that effectively they had effectively been cut out of the plan, and the plan had been agreed by Theresa May and her chief civil servant on it. So invariably that was going to cause elements of uncertainty, and we know how much markets hate uncertainty. We also had Boris Johnson. He resigned yesterday afternoon as the foreign secretary. I think it's probably probably the opinion is divided about whether that's actually a good or a bad thing. You can draw your own conclusion from that based on what you think of Boris Johnson, but ultimately we're traders, and actually really all we care about is where's the trade opportunity. Well, the kind of interesting thing is that we might have seen a big sell-off in sterling, okay, which we did a bit yesterday, and let's have a look at the pound against the dollar here. This is the 4-hour chart. Let's go down to the 1-hour chart. So for those of you completely new, joining us for the first time ever, as always, I have green and red bullish candles and bearish candles. I have a blue 20 period simple moving average, a red 50 simple moving average, and a green 200 simple moving average. Okay, just keep it quite simple. And here we have the hourly chart from yesterday. Okay, so we actually opened on a sort of a gap up, which came down and filled. Price actually rose yesterday morning after the sort of resignations of David Davis, but then actually once Boris Johnson had resigned, we actually had a collapse in sterling. But if we look again there this morning, we have been pretty much back up towards where we kind of opened the day, and this is kind of significant of a bigger trend within sort of euro and sterling at the moment, is that because we're driven by sort of political clout rather than actual real economic theory at the moment, that politics is sort of overwhelming the markets, is that it's not unusual that for us we get a bit of news, something like a major politician resigns. Of course there is there's a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to it, but then within 24 hours we are quite often back in the sort of area, back in the zone of where we were just the day before, and that's what we've kind of seen on sterling. Now, of course, we've had a bit of UK sterling news this morning, which was kind of brought us off there, which was kind of a nice move there, setting up there before it fell down. But if we look at here we go. If this is the pound against the Aussie, we've actually had after the collapse of yesterday, we've had a rally this morning, okay, in sterling, okay, same in pound against the New Zealand dollar, and even if we look at euro sterling here, okay, one of my own favorites, you've heard me blathering on about 87.50 to 88.50. We have been getting a little bit above there, okay, we're a little bit above there, showing a little bit more euro strength and sterling weakness, but it's not exactly it's not exactly a runaway, okay, not exactly a runaway trade. And if anything, if I go down, it's a bit like the others. We had a real push up, okay, euro strength, sterling weakness, but actually that's fallen back today, and maybe that's because some people are thinking that Boris Johnson leaving his role is good for sterling. We shall wait and see. But what I would suggest is, this of course is going to play out over the next few days. Okay, there's talk about whether there might be a no confidence vote in Theresa May. We shall wait and see. Theresa May is a little bit like Frau Merkel in that they're quite adept at sort of political survival. So it wouldn't surprise me if she survives the week, but we shall see. Things happen very fast at these times. But interestingly, as a trader, what I'm looking at, not too dissimilar to the DAX. Okay, is I'm just having a look here on the FTSE. Okay, FTSE weekly. We can actually see for the last few weeks there's been lots of wicks there, lots of indecision after hitting new highs. We've kind of just drifted down, south, back down towards around about that 7,600 area. Yesterday, actually, we ended up actually having a bit of a pump for the FTSE. Okay, maybe a little bit of a case of as sterling drops, the FTSE rises. Okay, that's what we've seen since Brexit. But if I look at there, we had a really good pump up towards that kind of around about 7,700 zone there. And actually, as I go down the charts, what I'm starting to look at here, and if I'm going to go down to the sort of 30-minute chart, is what I see is, end of yesterday, start of today, we've had a bit of a double top there. Okay, had a bit of a double top there. Price has sort of fallen away towards that 50-period moving average there, and a little bit like the DAX trade. I'm looking to see whether we maybe get a little sort of a pop and drop, and looking at whether the 20-period moving average can act as sort of dynamic resistance, which it has done for a good part of this morning's session. So, once again, I can just rely on the mini terminal here, okay, which is a super tool there for for intraday trading, okay, and I'm going to be looking to sort of have a, I'd like to see actually how the price action works, but, what we'll be looking at is, a price there around about, looking to short around about 76.92, 76.93. I'd want my stop up there, okay, about just above that recent high there. So we're looking at around about 77.06, okay. So, we're risking, depending upon your trade, we're risking somewhere between about sort of 13 to 14 ticks. And actually what I'm, interested in is sort of, just, trading just in front of that, the kind of what resistance we came through yesterday, which was around about 76.60. So, once again, what we're doing there, we're risking around about 12 to 14 sort of ticks for approximately sort of 30 to sort of 35 ticks of profit. So, there's a little 2-to-1 trade there that, I'm happy with. What I'd also be interested in is, looking at once price sort of came down to this region, we see yesterday the price accelerated there, okay, price accelerated away there, but I'm kind of always interested to see what price does when it gets back to the zone from which it departed. So even though my target is just in front of the kind of these highs of yesterday, I'd be interested to see if price was to continue down and maneuver around in that sort of in that kind of zone there, sort of between about 76, call it 76.50 and 76.30. I'd be intrigued to do that. So there you go. There's a little bit of an interesting idea. As I said, that I would be keeping an eye on these charts, very, very closely. Okay, I think there was one more resignation last night. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw one or two other sort of minor players go this week. So that will have sort of knee-jerk reaction. So invariably, as always, make sure you're conducting excellent risk management on your trades. Okay, just don't be surprised if a little bits of news comes out that provides us with knee-jerk reactions. So I think we've got a minute or two left. So try and have a look. I think Eric's asked me to have a little look at euro yen and dollar yen. Okay, so we can do that. We've got a moment or two left to try and help out where I can. Let's actually maybe go to the yen charts. That would be probably a better thing to have a look at euro yen and dollar yen. Let's just do that. Okay, so bring it up here. Okay, as I say always, I have a profile for all of the major currencies. Allows me just to have a quick look at what they're doing. Here we go. This is my yen profile here, right? So why don't we start at dollar yen? Okay, so if you remember last week I was talking about how price was coiling up there. Okay, you can see that on the daily chart. I'm just going to zoom in there. All right, price was just coiling up there. Okay, and was looking to see would it break, and we can see that we've seen that. We've seen dollar strength. Dollar is maintaining its place at the top of the board, okay, and the sort of currency strength, and invariably the yen is just sliding a little bit. So what I'd be interested in here is on dollar yen is seeing with that 111 area has been important, and what I'd be looking at is a case of can we head up towards around about that sort of longer term trend line around about 111.60. Okay, that's what I'll be looking at. See, that would be my that's what I'd be considering as my sort of inflection point in terms of what I'm particularly looking at there. Okay, so that's what I'll be looking at on dollar yen. Let's see if I can bring up euro yen. I think I might have tripped out my MetaTrader by going through all of these charts in such a quick space of time, but once again, what I'll be seeing is that for any of those yen pairs, yen has been very, very strong. Okay, over the last week or two, it has just it's away a little bit. Okay, in terms of its strength there, as let's say as fears have subsided within the market. But I would be I'd still want to be strong in the dollar, and invariably sort of keeping an eye on looking to see if we get a little bit of yen weakness, a little bit of a yen drift, so to speak. So there you go. I think that takes us up to our time, Tim. If I'll try and take a couple more questions, but I think my MetaTrader may have given up the ghost with the amount of charts that I've been going through this morning. So I wish you all the very best of success in your own trading, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Paul, thank you for your discussing here the interesting markets of today. So yeah, thanks to you listeners who joining us today. We're back tomorrow at the same time with another trader. So yeah, you are also invited for this webinar as well. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, good trades. Have a good day, and yeah, feel free to join us for our next webinar. So well, we from Berlin say bye bye.